Here we are at Trenton Thunder Stadium, USA Baseball. I got asked to speak about taking on the title of coach. It was so fun. We talked about transitioning from player to coach. We talked about what's your why as a coach. We talked about the impact that coaches have on today's youth and many ways of helping keep kids in the game. Again, Duke Baxter with Dominate the Diamond Zone Sports Academy. Here we are with USA Baseball at Trenton Thunder Stadium. Let's go. The topic that I really wanted to talk about is taking on the title of coach. So I want to talk about this first. This right here, this 5-ounce ball with 108 stitches. There's much more to this than just an object. This round baseball has helped shape and mold my life and got me to where I am and the steps and the stages that I get to do every day. So Zone was founded in 2002. Since then, we've trained over 100,000 kids. We've been open for 20 years, and I took my next step of taking on the title of coach, the book on the bottom, because what I learned was the coaches needed help designing practice plans. How do you run a practice? I ran a coaches clinic the other day with 150 coaches. 75 of them raised their hand saying that they've never played baseball before. 75 never played baseball before. So they're coaching T-ball and rookie and minors. And I'm like, how in the world are you going to coach if you never played baseball before? So here we go. It was a hands-on workshop, just like you're going to be doing tomorrow. You're going to go out and throw and field and catch and learn all those skills. And that's what we worked on. And towards the end, they were throwing and fielding and catching. And so that's when Dominate the Diamond was born. Dominate the Diamond was born in 2017, and we created online baseball courses. And if you're a T-ball coach, here's 57 awesome videos with pre-made practice plans, and this will help you be a coach. It'll give you the ABCs and 1, 2s, 3s, and we move through there. Since then, we have 250,000 members on our Facebook page, and we're helping coaches all over the country. So I'm just showing you that through my journey of what's actually happened to me, and I want to talk now about transitioning from player to coach, because they're two totally different things, right? When you first start out, all you care about is fielding balls, throwing them. You care about hitting. You care about yourself when you're playing. When you're coaching, you now need to help 12 other kids learn how to field and coach. If you're at the next level, you're teaching 30 kids how to field and coach. So coaching is way different than playing. When you're playing, it's just you're working on you. When you're coaching, you're working on all of them. Preparation. You need to work on your practice plans. You need to work on your skill development. When you're an individual, when you're playing, you focus on your individual skills. Whereas a coach, you guys are working on all of them. Creating a culture. You're in the culture as an athlete and as a player. When you're a coach, you guys are creating the culture. What kind of culture do you want? What kind of culture do you want your team to be? Dealing with parents. I only had to deal with my own parents when you played. You know, when you guys are coaching, you're dealing with a lot of parents. You're dealing with all kinds of different issues. We have something called our 24-hour rule. A 24-hour rule is when the game is over, the parent can't contact us for 24 hours. Why? Because if little Johnny didn't play, all that mom or dad's going to do is try to rip into the coach, and you just lost a 2-1 game. The last thing you want to hear is somebody ripping into you because so-and-so didn't play enough or he didn't do this. So the 24-hour rule is they know that the next morning, absolutely, I have no problem. I'll call you, send me an email, and usually by the next day, everything's diffused. It's a matter of them being so fired up right then and there. That's where the issue is. So putting out the 24-hour rule is a must for everybody. The hat method. This got over 4 million views on our social media. I'm not going to actually play the video. I just want to show the picture of this. And what this is I have 3 boys, and one of the hardest things that I've seen is the parent-player relationship. The father and the son, or the mother and the daughter, when they're playing that card ride home, is a disaster for so many kids. The dad's ripping into the kid. How come you didn't get more hits? Why didn't you this? That's what gets kids to quit baseball. That's why they stop. That car ride home, they dread that so much. And thank gosh I didn't. My mom was probably the one that did that. My dad didn't know anything about baseball, so hey, great job. I could go for 3 with 3 strikeouts, and I would hate when my dad's like, yeah, but you played good. I'm like, Dad, I struck out 3 times today. I didn't have a good game. But he was just positive, positive, positive. And when my son was 8 years old, my son Matthew, we were on our way to tryouts, and he goes to travel tryouts, and he's in the back seat, and he's like, Daddy, can I ask you something? I said, sure, Matthew. What? He goes, would you be mad if I didn't make the A team? I said, pulled the car over. I looked at him. I said, Matthew, what do you think? He's like, no, not if I tried my best. I said, you're right. I said, why do you ask me that? He goes, because when I was in the line before I fielded ground balls, I heard a couple of the other kids saying that their dad would be so mad if they didn't make the A team. And I was like, put that in perspective and think about that for a second. Some of us in this room have parents that were like that and were challenged like that. But to hear your 8-year-old say, I was like, I'm glad that he was able to say, no, Dad, you wouldn't care as long as I tried my best and gave it my all. Like, that's all we can do. That's all we can do. So the hat rule is this. When I go to a baseball game, I'm sitting in the front. Boom, I'm driving. I'm a coach. Dad can talk about the game. I look to behind me. If Matthew has his hat on, I can talk about baseball. The lineups maybe, who we're playing, what's going on. If his hat is off, I can't talk to him about it. I can still think it, man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it. All of a sudden, boom, now we arrive at the ballpark. His hat's on, my hat's on. I'm no longer Dad, and he's no longer Matthew. I'm Coach Duke, and he's Matthew, and we're playing hard. We're doing stuff. We're everything. As soon as the game's over, we get into the car, my hat comes off, I throw it onto the dash, and I'm only his dad. I'm only his dad. He can sit in the back seat and keep his hat on and talk about the game. I wish I would have done this, Dad. But I don't talk as a coach. Hey, next time, get him next time. Like, that's all right, we'll go practice. We'll go do this. Or he can take his hat off and we talk about ice cream and going out and doing whatever. But it gives the kid the control in the car after a game, what happens and what gets talked about. So I think that can really help people, and I really enjoy that. Define your coaching style. I remember 11 and 12 years old. I had Coach Cruz and Coach Natale. Coach Natale drove a Porsche. And I was like, damn, coaches make a lot of money. I really want to stay in the game. Coach Cruz would come to the game. Coach Natale would wash his car. And I'm like, dude, to this day, I just remember that being like, gosh, he makes so much money. Like, coaches make so much money. Little League coaches. We were 11 years old. Then we moved on to high school. I had Coach Hewitt. Was really a bulldog kind of a coach. Coach Stevens was not at all, just fun. Coach Blackie, when I went to junior college, it was Coach Blackie and Coach Roy. Coach Roy was always, hey, big guy, what's going on? He was the guy that was and then there was Coach Blackie, the one that had signed me on. Being a sports psychologist, he would get in front of us every single time at shortstop. He would field the ground ball. We would field one. He would watch us and show us and not only talk about it, but he would do it and demonstrate it. And I remember standing on first base and he was like, you ready? I'm like, I just got a base hit. Am I ready for what? He goes, are you ready? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, you just missed it. I'm like, I missed what? He goes, you just missed the opportunity. I'm like, He goes, yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about this. He goes, you see the shortstop after you got the base hit? The second baseman got the ball. He flicked it into the shortstop. He went back out to tell the right fielder how many outs. The shortstop threw the ball into the pitcher. He started walking out to left field. He goes, you just missed the opportunity. You didn't know you weren't ready for it. You weren't looking for it. He goes, but you're not going to miss the next one. And that coach just instilled like the anticipation. It took the game to a whole nother level. I had 17, he called them eyes up. I had 17 eyes up that season. And it would just turn me into a totally different player because I wasn't scared. My high school coach scared me. My junior college coach brought out the best in me. Then I went on to the University of North Florida. Coach Rogo, Coach Rhodes, amazing coaches. Again, it was all about respect. It was all about making sure things were on time. They were another set of coaches. Then when I played Pro Bowl, it was Coach Al Gallagher, Wayne Crenshicky, and Sparky Lyle. Once you get into Pro Bowls, it was a different level of coaches. But I just named 13 coaches that I remember, and when I got asked to speak about this today, I rattled off all 13 coaches that coached me in baseball my entire career, like that. And I couldn't wait to talk about them because that's how important they are. So those were my memorable coaches. Learn from the experience. So I had good ones, bad ones, high performance ones that scared me, ones that didn't. So you have to ask yourself, what type of coach do you want to be? What type of coach do you want to be? Do you want to scare kids? Do you want to motivate them? Do you want to educate them? Do you want to make sure that are you going to be a positive influence, a negative influence? And then what kind of impact do you want? They always say that a coach can influence more people, impact more people in 1 year than most people do in a lifetime. Coaching is powerful, and the power is in your hands. And why do you coach? Why do you coach? And I took a slide that I'll make sure that they send out, but I made this sheet. It's a coach's goal sheet. Why do you coach baseball? And I want 5 reasons why you coach. What type of coach do you want to be? I put down there. And what are your short-term and long-term goals of being a coach? You probably never thought about that before. I don't know why I coach. I know why I coach. I don't know why you coach. But when you think about that, when the going gets tough and the parents start getting crazy and you're losing games, you got to get back to, why do I coach? And this will bring you back. Life lessons through the sport. I got this from a player that I trained since he was 6 years old, all the way until he was 18 years old, played pro ball, and it says, Lord, we give you Duke, thank you for him. We thank you for everything that he is and for all the gifts and talents. We thank you for the many things that he has given to others, for all the kindness that he shows us. This is why we coach. When he sent me this, it almost brought tears to my eyes because this is an 8-year-old kid that at 18 years old, I had 10 years with him and watched him through all the way, all the stages. Keep your eye on the ball. We hear that all the time. Stay focused. Know what your plan is. Know what your why is. Keep your eye on the ball. When the going gets tough and kids are swinging and missing, just like Coach said about pitching, like aim target. Aim small, miss small. See your target. Keep your eye on the ball. Don't wait for the bad hop. How many times? What am I talking about with that? I'm talking about you sitting back and waiting for the ball like you're waiting for, I'm not aggressive, I'm kind of back, and all of a sudden the ball comes through, and now it gives me the hop. Instead of go get the ball. Get the hop that you want to catch. Go out there and be the coach that you want to be. Don't rest on yesterday's success. Babe Ruth said it. Yesterday's home run doesn't win today's game. Yesterday's home run doesn't win today's game. We have to teach the kids that just because we won the championship last weekend, that doesn't mean anything for this weekend. Just because you throw a no-hitter yesterday doesn't mean anything. So we have to continue to keep them on the path. Help your players achieve success for them, whatever that means. So success for different people mean different things. Eyes up. That was the opportunity I talked about. Look for the opportunities. See the opportunities. Look and see what's in front of you. Teach kids how to read the ball in the dirt so they can take an extra bag when the catcher goes down. Boom, and they take where'd that guy go? Like that's what you want them to look for. You want them to see and take advantage of those opportunities. The rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield. Why? Because we don't want to keep looking backwards at yesterday. We'll crash at what's in front of us. We're going to miss the opportunities in front of us if we're constantly looking back. You want to look back because you can learn from that. Okay, I can look back for a second. Okay, I remember what my past was. I'm looking this way. I'm looking at the opportunities that are coming. I'm making sure that I'm going into the right direction. Swing for the fences. There's nothing stopping you. Make sure these kids, when they're swinging, it's not, what happens when you take a 4-year-old and you put them on a tee? They get ready, they swing like this, they turn into robots, and they're trying to hit the ball off the tee. If you took your 4-year-old and you pitched them a ball, even if it was on a knee with a spongy ball, those kids go up there like this and they take a hack. Let the kids swing for the fence. Let them swing hard. Swing hard. If they make mistakes, have it be because they're going full throttle, not because they're just trying to hit the ball. You just hit it, Johnny. Just hit it. You're still out. Go up there and take swings. Go up there and let them take chances. Talking to today's youth. I hate hearing this, and we hear it all the time. Today's kids are soft. Today's kids are so different. We used to work so hard. Today's kids don't work hard. No, we can't teach old philosophies the old school way. We can still teach old philosophies, But we have to know how to do it the new school way. What do I mean by that? Kids have so much access to information on their phones. You can ask them anything and they'll find the answer. How far is it from here to Bridgewater? How many home runs does Aaron Judge have? How do I throw a strike? So they want to know why. They want to know how. So if I'm going to teach them something, we have to be prepared to explain why we're doing it. And if we don't know, we need to find out. Because if we're their coach and we're saying, I want you to do it like this, and they're going, well, you better be able to explain why. Because they're going to say, wait, why am I doing it like that? Well, how come he's doing it like this? How come he's doing it like what? So you can teach old school skills, but you have to teach it the new school way. Meet them where they are. Do what you say and say what you do. How many times, hey guys, let's make sure we respect the umpires. As soon as there's a bad play, come on, Blue, I can't believe it. What do you think the kids are watching you do? You have to do what you say. You have to say what you do. You can't say one thing and do something totally different. Their eyeballs are so glued on you. Oh, I'm going to watch how coach does this. I'm going to watch how coach does this. Well, how come he's not doing that? Coach says we have to be there 5 minutes early for practice, and coach comes 5 minutes late to practice. Like, why do we have to? There goes the why. So we have to make sure that we do what you say and say what you do. How do you treat your players? Equally, fairly, or differently? Did you ever think about that one? Johnny comes in, he's the best player on the team, comes 5 minutes late to practice. Johnny, don't come late again. Mikey comes 5 minutes late, you're benched. Why? Because he's not good and it doesn't matter. You're going to make an example of the kid that's not good? We've seen that all the time. We see that all the time. Again, equally, fairly, differently. Mikey has soccer practice, doesn't come to half of the practices. John comes to every single practice. Who's going to get the playing time? Are you going to treat him equally, fairly, or differently? You have to make that decision. The parents and the players need to know what that is, because if you bench the kid that came late because he's not that good, but as soon as the stud comes and he's a little bit late, don't worry about it. Don't be late next time. What kind of message? That's horrible culture. That's teaching a horrible culture, and we see it all the time. You have to make the example of the guys, and you have to stick to what you're doing. You have to make sure you have your why, you know what kind of culture you're trying to build, and stick to your plan. Act like a coach, think like a player. You have to act like a coach, but still think like a player. You still have to be in the game. You have to watch the game. You have to see what's going on. You have to be able to know what kind of play. You have to be able to feel and your instinctive, but yet you have to still be able to act like a coach. Listen and respect and be the coach you wish you had as a player. I think that's awesome, because some of us had bad coaches. Be the coach that you wish that you had. You know, your success is not defined by your wins and losses. It's defined on how many kids come back next year. We had a coach from one of the towns. He's like, we won 5 titles out of 6 weekends. We won 5. How many kids are coming back? 3? Wait, you lost 9 kids? 9 kids aren't coming back to play baseball? Well, guess what? You're not a good coach. Then you have a coach at maybe 50-50, maybe won half the games, maybe won 1 championship, but all 12 kids are coming back. Well, guess what? Year 2, you're going to win 2 championships. Year 3, you're probably going to win 5 championships, and every single kid in the town's going to want to play on your team. That's what a good coach is. So stop looking at win at all costs, as long as we win the title, that's not what it's all about. Yeah, we're going to win, but we're going to win because we do it the right way, because we develop kids, because we talk positively to them, and we got to get them to love the game. I wanted to bring my message to the importance of you and this game, and you're the ones that start these kids to get them to keep on playing. Make sure that your kid goes past 12 years old, and he's one that breaks the rules, and he gets past, and he's not one of the, doesn't fall in that 73% that quit after the age of 12. Make sure you're enjoying the game, plan for it, practice. Make sure that you have your practice plans, keep it fun, smile, do all those things. This is such a great game. Our job is to get good results, get them to play again, stay positive, stay confident, and have fun doing it.